What is going on, everybody? If you don't already know, I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. We doing a live stream today because I wasn't able to get my Nickell Robey Coleman video out. Said I was going to do it on my community post, but I couldn't get it done early enough. Just getting in the house right now. So instead of doing a video, getting out too late, thought I'd come live and chat it out with you guys. How do you guys like the signing? I mean, at the end of the day, he's definitely a solid slot corner, a very solid slot corner. I mean, he hasn't really done anything else other than play the slot. And you know how the Philadelphia Eagles have a multitude of guys who can play the slot already. So, with that being said, it's like, my goodness, I like it. Cheap, solid, probably going to start because he's familiar with Jim Schwartz. What is going on, Will Nelson? What's going on, Carpool? Just wanted to get on here and talk about the Nickell Robey Coleman deal. Like I said, I had a plan to come home, get the video done after I did my community post at work, but things changed up. Just getting in the house right now, and so I'm not gonna do a video on it when I can just come live, chill out with you guys for a little bit, and talk about Nickell Robey Coleman. Superhero, what is going on? We definitely added depth with that move. Yo, bro, we definitely added depth with this move. I agree 100%. Jeff Williams, what's going on? How you doing, bro? Philly Wolf, Howie Roseman ain't playing. The secondary is by far the best it's ever been. Ever been meaning like ever as a Eagles ever. Maybe in the last couple years, but not ever. Dwayne Aldridge, the Bird game for life. Defense is looking real scary. Yeah, I like it. I mean, Darius Slay brings so much on the outside. He really does. He can do whatever you need him to do on one side of the field and really lock it up. That's going to allow whoever plays on the opposite side. And that's what I'm trying to talk about. We got a lot of guys. We got to see who's going to play on the opposite side. It looks like we got an abundance of slot guys. Nickell Robey Coleman is a solid slot. I think he'll get the start. Avonte Maddox is a really good slot if he can stay at that position. We moved him at safety. We moved him outside corner. I think he can do that. He has potential to do that, but he's still a smaller guy. Crevion LeBlanc continues to come in and make impact plays in the slot. It's just the fact is he got hurt, made plays in 2018, got hurt. Then when he got healthy in 2019, we used him as well. Eagles Evan, I think so far we have done our secondary is much improved. I'm still questioning why no wide receiver additions. I understand the reason to question why we didn't get no wide receivers. It's a little shocking knowing that we have cap space. And again, Perriman took an $8 million deal. I mean, we all know we need wide receivers. And because of that, I think Howie's definitely going to go get them in the draft. It would have been good to get a veteran in here, though. I agree with you. Jeff Williams, his cap is only $5 million. Yeah, Darius Slay. I saw something on Twitter where it's like when you combine Darius Slay and Nickell Robey Coleman, the cap we're going to get hit for them in 2020 is like $5.3 million. Good contract. David Rambo said he's looking good. Yeah, the defense is looking pretty good. I really like it. Mark Thompson, what up? What's going on, everybody? Eagles Evan, Demarcus Robinson, 1 or 2 year deal, best wide receiver left, in my opinion. Yeah, at the end of the day, when free agency was still coming up, we had things to look forward of. I did a video, and in the video, I talked about Robbie Anderson, of course, but that 2 year, $20 million, that's a lot for a guy like that, especially when we're going to have D-Jack back. Hopefully he's healthy. It's the longest he's been out. Brashad Perriman was in it, and so was Demarcus Robertson. He was the last guy I would look at, but it's just to get a guy in here because we need wide receiver insurance. We're going out and getting slot corners to get depth at corner. We should get a guy at receiver, even if he's a guy who's not nobody's favorite option. Just get a guy who can come in here and not let us have to eventually go to the practice squad come week 8 or something like that. I think the reason we have the personnel is to help with the draft. Yeah, I think it's going to help with the draft. I think it, at the end of the day, we have a lot of slot corners. I wish we can get a guy who, but corners, we sure the corner position up by getting Darius Slay. So, I mean, anything we add in here is going to just be extra. It's a body. Crevion LeBlanc deserves a shot. He's going to fight it out. I believe Jim Schwartz knowing Robbie Coleman like he knew Nickell Bradham. He brought Nickell Bradham in here, and Nickell Bradham thrived in the system early on. I think he's going to thrive under Jim Schwartz in the slot, smaller guy. But that's where it gets weird because Will Parks played safety and slot corner for the Denver Broncos. And so with Jalen Mills being moved to safety, we got three safety. What's the rotation going to look like with Rodney McLeod, Will Parks, Jalen Mills? And which one's going to play that Malcolm Jenkins role? Who comes down in the box? Jalen Mills looked like he was going to fill that Malcolm Jenkins role. But when a bigger guy goes into the slot, a 6'3 guy, a 6'2 guy goes in the slot, is Will Parks going to take him? Is Jalen Mills going to take him? Is Robey Coleman not going to be on the field because he's a great slot corner, but he's his size? Evan, that'd be good. Jeff, what is going on, bro? Let's see. 2020 vision. What is going on? How do you feel about the Nickell Robey Coleman deal? So I know we signed Hargraves and he'll help out. He'll help. But how's D line looking? Back during our Super Bowl year, we're able to get to the quarterback. Last 2 years, not so much. Yeah, I agree. Last 2 years, not so much. But you got to think. On that Super Bowl run, we had Brandon Graham attacking. Yes, he's a couple years older, but he should still be able to do some of the things. We had Derek Barnett attacking. We had Fletcher Cox. Timmy Jurgen was on that D-line. Like, we have some of the same players on the D-line. I think Fletcher Cox being injured a little bit all year really played a part. Losing Malik Jackson, losing Timmy Jurgen, losing Sam Ridgeway. Derek Barnett had like 2 or 3 games where he started to put it together and then he got hurt. Like, I think our D-line has to be healthy like every other position. The secondary position took hit. Offensive line took hit. Defensive line took hit. Wide receivers all died on us. Like, it's been just since the Super Bowl. And the Super Bowl, we were pretty much healthy other than our franchise quarterback and the fact that, Alshon Jeffrey had a shoulder problem. But since the Super Bowl, each group on offense and defense been taking massive hits. And it's never been a game where we've all been able to be even 80% healthy. It's just been injury after injury. So no matter what we talk about in free agency, if we come out and these new guys, or even the guys who don't get hurt, or the guys who were getting hurt, if we continue this path of keep getting hurt, doesn't matter who we bring in. Darius Slay can lock down a corner, but if he gets hurt week 5, it doesn't matter, So we have to worry about health. That has to be a concern for the Philadelphia Eagles because it's been our Achilles heel the last 2 years. Carson Wentz never had defense. Imagine if he gets a number 1 receiver and a number 26, a number 10, a number 86. I smell MVP. Oh, yeah. Deshaun Jackson all year, Zach Ertz, Miles Sanders. There are enough weapons, and you add a draftee who can go out there and get it done right away. You get Dallas Goedert more snaps. Boston Scott. Like I said, just the offense being healthy. If Deshaun Jackson would have came back last year, it would have made the offense a lot explosive. It would have opened up so much more for the guys like Dallas Goedert and Carson Wentz. In my opinion, Eagles, Evan, in my opinion, we got to get one decent free agent wide receiver. As we already know, drafting wide receivers ain't always guaranteed, a.k.a. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside or Aguilar. I think J.J. improves this year. I agree. I do want to say this about the whole wide receiver, saying that how we can't draft one and we haven't had one in a while. I agree 100%. I agree. Now, the Eagles also are not known for getting a wide receiver in the first round. The year Chip Kelly took over the whole thing, they got Nelson Aguilar in the first round, and he didn't pan out. But that was Chip Kelly. The rest of Howie Roseman and the scouting teams, they were trying to get guys in the late second, the late third. But this draft class has a chance to be historic, not just good, historic. So with a historic draft class, the fact that Howie Roseman looks like he's going to use the first round pick on a receiver, whether it's move up, stay at 21, move back. Our first pick should be wide receiver. So this will be the perfect opportunity for him to put that drafting better receivers behind him, because he's going to use the first round pick and because this is a historic draft. So I do get all the concerns. And if we were going to try to be slick and find a third round gem, even in this historic draft, I think Howie and them could mess it up. But I don't think we're going to mess it up this time. I just can't see how we will. I just can't see it. I don't know. 2020, I don't know much about Robey. Who is going to be the top 3 cornerbacks, Mike? Darius Slay is going to take one side. I don't know who's going to fight right at this point for the other outside corner, because, top 3 cornerbacks, just naming the top 3 doesn't necessarily say who's going to play what position. I think bringing Nickell Robey Coleman in here is going to I think Jim Schwartz wants a guy like him to start. He knows about him in Buffalo. He's been a solid slot corner wherever he went. This is the thing. Avonte Maddox, you prefer him in the slot, but he can possibly play some outside. Crevion LeBlanc, I think he's a guy who really needs to be in the slot too. The thing about Robey Coleman is he cannot be on the outside. At only 5'8", 180, he needs to be in the slot. So I think bringing him in for the 1 year, you're saying, listen, we're going to try you at slot. If it doesn't work out, we can mix and match. We got depth at the slot position, but I think we're going to start with Robey Coleman at the slot. And I would like to see what we can do outside. Is it going to be Avonte Maddox? Is it going to be Sidney Jones if he can step up like he did a little bit at the end of the year and going through this whole new training session with I forgot the guy's name, but don't forget, we do got that guy, Trevor Williams, who one time was a top 10 corner. His problem was once he got hurt in Los Angeles Chargers, he left, went to the Cardinals, got hurt again. And the way the Eagles signed him is with future contracts. So it's pretty much like if he can't get his body right, he won't even be on the roster. But if you type his name and he's still on the Eagles roster, he's been very quiet. Again, you got to wait till even just training camp comes to see if this guy's even going to be training with the team. But, Darius Slay being able to shut one side down, and you can, drop a safety help on a guy like Sidney Jones' side or Avonte Maddox's side, I think is still going to be able to play a lot better than what we've seen last year. Philly Fresh, I love this sign. It's on Jim now. How he putting the pieces on the board. Now it's time for him to play chess. Yeah, man, I hear you. I definitely hear you. The pieces are on the board. Philly Wolf 90, our new defensive back coach, is going to have fun. Oh, yeah, and don't forget about Markin Emmanuel. I think he's going to bring fire to this group as well. Jalen Williams, what's going on? Would you trade our first this year and third this year and next year's first round for the 9th or 10th pick for Judy and take the second and 2 4th-round picks to move to the early second D to get best player available? Let me think about that. Would you trade our first and third this year and next year's first for the 9th or the 10th pick to get Judy and then take the second and 2 4ths and move up to the early second and get best player available? Well, who do you think the best player available will be? So then we're going to get Judy, best player available. You won't have a third. We won't have a 4th. Well, we would have 1 4th. What 4th will we be giving up? The 127 or the 145 and the 146? What do you think? Philly Wolf 90. Alshon hasn't been released because I think we're playing we are playing out his contract. It might look that way. It might really look that way. We got to see. Hit that like, Eagles Nation, for your boy. Yeah, appreciate it. 100% 2020 vision. It don't take nothing just to hit that. All you got to do is click off the live chat, hit the like button, and click back on it. Pedro Eagles secondary might go from worst to first this year. I don't know about first, but I guarantee you we were worse, and it will be a pretty good secondary. I like Will Parks. I think McLeod started coming on strong at the end of the year. He struggled early, but I love it. Leave you with 1/4 and 1/5 and the 6 left. Yeah, but also crucial what fourth. Are we giving up the 127 and the 145th? Because after the 127 is 20 picks. The other 2/4 are 145th and 146. Kevin Corman, why do you always ask this on everybody's live stream? But I don't know. I kind of do live streams every once in a while. DeAndre Richardson, what is going on, bro? Jeff Williams, Mills will ball out and be our safety for a while. I like that. Anthony M, what is going on, bro? Philly take with RB. We can do so much on offense with the weapons we have. It's crazy. Miles Sanders and Boston Scott, Goddard and Ertz, D-Jax, and a good young wide receiver from the draft. Man, this could be a top 5 offense. I agree. Look how we came into the season. When we came into this season and you knew it was going to be Carson Wentz healthier, which he's going to be the healthiest ever this year. Dallas Goedert, Zach Ertz, Deshaun Jackson, everybody you just said, instead of the young, talented wide receiver, it was Alshon Jeffrey, Miles Sanders, and Jordan Howard, and we were Super Bowl contenders. So you take out Jordan Howard, you might got to get a bigger back. But Boston Scott and Miles Sanders can run the ball. You take out Alshon Jeffrey, you get a talented wide receiver. Why are we not talked about to be a top offense? Well, we will be good. We will be good. Williams is a good player. I agree 100%. Charlie Chan, I love these moves. The defensive coordinator cannot complain that he don't have enough. Yeah, I agree. Market Emmanuel, the defensive back coach, and the defensive coordinator in Jim Schwartz got to get it done. Kevin Corwin, I want a third string runner back and a quarterback either in the draft or free agency. I hear you. I think you're going to get your late round runner back. I think we'll get something. I think the Eagles are going to be big once again in the undrafted free agents too. So once the draft's all said and done, I mean, it's hard to find a gem after 7 rounds. People who didn't get drafted, it's hard to find someone like that, but it's been done. Look at Jason Peters. Nickell Robey Coleman was undrafted. So Eagles have, and I think LeBlanc deserves every opportunity to earn a starting slot cornerback job. I agree 100%. He kept getting injured, but every time he's been healthy, he proved that, he deserves a chance to just play. He makes plays. Tara Poole just said, just enjoying the lovely lockdown. Word, man. I was about to go to the dollar store a little bit ago, and they were closed at 7. I'm like, closed at 7? It is what it is, though. Easy Money 2004. We should at least be top 15 defense. Yes, I agree. Philly Wolf 90. If our defense line can generate the pressure, get to the quarterback, the secondary is going to have picks all year. Correct, man. The best way to make your secondary look better, make them have less time watching the routes. The defensive line has to play. Ronald Darby, Jalen Mills looked decent in 2017 and 18 season when we had a monster D-line. Who's the odd man out, Sidney or Rasul? Definitely Rasul. Rasul's on the trading block. I'm not saying Sidney is so much better, but I still believe the potential's there. Remember, this kid would have been a first-round pick if he didn't tear his Achilles. I think between the Achilles, coming back and getting lingering hamstrings, and it's in his head. He got the talent. He just got to put it together. His man coverage is pretty good. Needs some help in zone. I mean, Sidney Jones and Rasul Douglas are exact opposites. Rasul's better zone. He's better man. Rasul gets burnt. People want to move him to safety, but I don't think that's going to happen. And at the end of the day, I think we're going to try to get like a 4th, 5th round pick for him. Is there any young good wide receivers that might get traded? DJ Moore. I actually heard about this. Someone said it to me in a comment, and then I looked, and there's a whole article on the Philly Voice. I was going to put that in a video today. Today, I was going to come home and make a Nickell Robey Coleman video and talk about DJ Moore as a possibility. But DJ Moore, wide receiver for the Carolina Panthers. They just signed Robbie Anderson, 2 years, $20 million. I don't know why you'd want to get rid of a guy just because you signed a wide receiver, but I heard trade rumors. The dude is 22 years old. He just had his second year in the NFL last year, 87 receptions, 1,175 yards, and 4 touchdowns. He was the Panthers' first round pick 2 years ago. I mean, 1,100 yards in your second season. I mean, Eagles would love a receiver to do that, but I don't know how true that is, and so I wasn't going to get too hyped on it. But DJ Moore, he is stud. Eagles Evan, what about bringing Corey Clement back? 1 year deal, had a good rookie year and awesome Super Bowl performance. Definitely a great Super Bowl performance. If healthy, good be good behind Sanders. Scott, I think he will own him. We owe him a chance. I do too. I just think he kept getting injured. And if you got Boston Scott and Miles Sanders, you want a back who's going to be different from them. You want that bulldozer back. And even though I think Corey Clemens can fight for the yards, we just need a guy who's going to get 3rd and 2s. You got Miles Sanders who can kind of do both the things. Boston Scott, small guy, can, catch out of the backfield. So can Miles Sanders, don't get me wrong. But if we get another runner back, it got to be someone who can just run up the middle for 1 yard easily. That's what I think. DeAndre Richardson, the offense is good. We just need man beaters, and that's not always speed. That is 100%. That is 100% true. Just being fast doesn't always be able to beat man, because sometimes you have to beat the press to get the speed. If a guy can jam you at the line, get you off your route, now he can run with you. Before you get back to top speed, the play's already over, He jams you at the line, that's another one, that's 2 seconds. By the time you get to top speed, it's a 7-second play, and boom, you're sacked. So I do agree with that. You need to be able to get a good release off the line of scrimmage. And so, that's how Alshon Jeffrey and all them guys made their money throughout their career in the NFL. But I can say this, if you do have speed and a guy can get released, even if he's like, remember Torrey Smith? I mean, when he was with the Baltimore Ravens, he was good. But there was a time in his career where he was fast and good. When he came to the Eagles, he was over the hill. But just because we put him on 9 routes or, up the seam, it opened the offense up. Opened the defense to where a safety can't creep in and watch Zach Ertz or Dallas Goedert or the crosser all the time. The middle of the field where we love to attack will be so much wide open if you just send guys out, And that's what I was talking about with Doug Peterson. Like, Nelson Aguilar wasn't catching them. Rob Davis wasn't, doing it much until the very end. But just send the guys deep to try to open up the coverage. Now, of course, if you keep sending guys deep and you just can't connect, you're not going to be stupid about it. But I agree with you, though. Man beaters don't always mean speed. Jeff Williams, defense and free agency and draft for offense. Hey, that's the strategy. Hopefully it doesn't come back to bite us that we didn't sprinkle a little offense inside this free agency. Eagles Evan, Brandon Cooks and OBJ on trading block. OBJ might be out our range though. Yeah, remember we do got to worry about the cap. The cap, it wasn't as bad as it was before we signed Nickell Robey Coleman. We had like $20 million left in cap, and what was he, $1 million? And his cap hit is so little, so there still should be around $19 million at least. Samuel Mack, I don't see a big deal with this dude. I want Crevion LeBlanc to play the slot. If the ref would have made that call, Saints would have been in the Super Bowl. Team LeBlanc. Oh yeah, I agree 100% with you. Everybody knows that was a pass interference. And here's the thing. I think Crevion LeBlanc should get an exact opportunity to start. Let him fight it out at camp. But right now, the way LeBlanc is younger and has been up and down injured, if you're bringing in a guy who in his 7-year career only missed 1 game in his 7-year career, been a player under the defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz montage, I think he's the preferred start at slot. But I agree. I'm a big LeBlanc fan. I would love to. I don't think he can play on the outside, but I love his slot coverage. I love what he was able to do when he came to the Eagles in 2018 when we were broken down and we fought hard against the Saints and we went on that run. We beat the Bears. We fought hard against the Saints. I'm a LeBlanc guy too, bro. I agree with you. Let me get to some of these quicker. I would love the Eagles to get a linebacker, a little one, because I'm not sure about the linebacker from the Chargers. Yeah, Jatavius Brown, he's quick. He'll play a role, but he's not going to come in and just help this linebacker position. Best player available equals linebacker Kenneth Murray, Diggs, or AJ Terrell, all in the second round. AJ Terrell and Kenneth Murray. I thought Trevon Diggs might have went late first, but I'm gonna take your word on it. So you're saying Judy and one of these three, and then we don't get the pick until, let's just say, 146 again. So you get Judy, one of these three, a 146, a 168, and a 190 pick. You're getting two guys that you shouldn't be able to, shouldn't miss. It shouldn't be hit or miss with them two. The 146, the 160, and the 190 will be hit or misses, but you're really limited to the holes you can fix, but you're getting two super playmakers in there. So, I mean, my goodness, that'd be tough. But how early in the second? You're talking about like in the top 10 of the second? Jeff Williams, do you think we get a right guard in the draft and bring Bradham back cheaper? I actually thought about, now that nobody signed Nigel Bradham, and at the end of the day, we all saw him running out of gas, but I think he has a year left in it. He got some gas left in the tank, not $10 million worth, which he would have got paid if we didn't release him. That could be an option, but I think they wouldn't exhaust that option if they thought about that instead of Jatavius Brown. I mean, he was like $500,000 or $675,000, so that was really cheap. And I do believe the Eagles will get a guard. If we don't trade up and lose more picks, and we have the 8 picks we have, we will get a guard before the 5th round. I mean, I'm not saying we need one, but that's just what the Eagles like to do. Also, don't be surprised in a contract year, Barnett has a monster deal or monster year. Get Blunt back. Hey, at the end of the day, Lawrence James, all we need is a bruiser up the middle, because I'm telling you, Miles Sanders and Boston Scott can handle the load. Takeem Hilton, what is going on, bro? On a business move, you think they will trade Zach even though we love Zach? I mean, there might be writing on the wall where, like, I love Zach Ertz, and if he can stay, let him stay. But if the not signing the contract throughout the year is true, why? And if it is true because of the money, then who are we going to budge? Is he going to budge? Are we going to say that Dallas Goedert is worth it? There's a lot of things that can come into play, but it's not out of the realm of possibility that Zach Ertz does not finish his career on the Eagles. I mean, it's hard, but it's not out of the realm. I'm not saying it's automatically going to happen, but it could be a business decision coming up, like you said. DeAndre Richardson, this defense is going to be something different. We got hybrid players for a scary defense with interchangeable parts. That is true. I like the interchangeable parts. That's what I was really going to talk about, the mix and match and the depth and the interchangeable parts in my video, but couldn't get it. We don't need to worry about who's starting. Just week to week game plans, trust. Yes, I think that could be. I think you could see Jalen Mills playing safety one week and then Will Parks the next, and vice versa. There could be a week where they put Jalen Mills as a corner because he matches up against his cornerback receiver better than a guy like Avonte Maddox. And again, you can shed the safety help on the guy opposite Adarius Slay. I do agree, when you have interchangeable pieces, it's time to play chess, like Philly Fresh said. Go to work each week and get the best game plan and personnel on the field to execute the game plan. Stephen Joyce, what is up, bro? After the dust settles, which the draft and free agency, do we keep Greg Ward on the practice squad or is he on the active roster? That really comes down to what we really are able to get out of the draft at wide receiver. Right now, I mean, he's our second best wide receiver on the team. You got D-Jack and you got Greg Ward Jr. I'm still going to keep my eye open for Arcega Whiteside, but right now he's the second best wide receiver. So, you know what I mean? Philly take with RB. What do you think about what's next for linebacker? I like the Brown signing, but I think we still need one more. Of course, we could easily brought Grugier Hill back, got paid $4 million by the Dolphins. That is true. I think we're attacking linebacker in the draft. I don't know where, when. Um, with us shoring up cornerback enough, maybe we do something crazy and get a linebacker in the second. Maybe we fall to the third or the fourth. But I think we need another body in there as well. Jatavius Brown was a nice pickup, but he's not the answer. Ward should be a slot hands down. Dude got speed in hands. I love my boy G Ward. Subscribe and hit notification button. You will know when he's live. LOL. All day, every day. Yeah. That's all you got to do. Something light. Vance Maxwell. I think NFC East is going to be dominated by the Eagles. What do you think, Mike? Hey, man. Like I said, there was a reason all these sports networks said the Eagles are Super Bowl contenders going into last year. I mean, we had Ronald Darby, Jalen Mills as corners. I mean, we had an offense that had stud tight ends and good receivers and a franchise quarterback. And that's what we're going to go into 2020 with. You know, we lost both our wide receivers. We lost even Nelson Aguilar at times, who would have probably been good in the slot if he was our third option. We lost everybody on our team at least once, I believe, except for Malcolm Jenkins almost. I mean, there was one time where there was two people who started week one who was in the game, and this was like week 10 or something. So I do believe if you look at the way the offense can run, even if we stay in 12-man personnel, I think we're going to try to stay in 12-man personnel a lot still, because even if we get a drafty receiver, you know, you got your two receivers on the outside. Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz are hard to deal with up front. I mean, Ertz is more the possession guy, and Dallard is more of your explosive play guy. They can chip block. I mean, we should be able to protect Wentz with the tight ends and the fact that our offensive line can stay healthy. Again, 2020 is going to come down to health. If we're healthy, Vance Maxwell, we're in the playoffs, and we win our division, and we should compete 100%. Is Howie making it too obvious by not signing a free agent wide receiver that we're going wide receiver in round one? All the other teams know we only holding Jeffrey to try and throw them at him, throw them off that we might not go wide receiver in one. Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, Howie Roseman is going to be on the phone during the draft. I don't think you're going to see us. I don't think you would see us move up. You know how we talked about moving up to the Niners pick and blah, 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 blah. That will not happen until draft day. Howie Roseman is not a guy who's going to try to move up now, like how the San Francisco traded somebody to acquire Colts, blah, blah, blah pick. Howie Roseman, as soon as the draft starts, is going to be like, boom, boom, boom. He'd probably be calling some of the same guys back twice, like, how about this then? How about this? I think he's going to do it. He knows by not even getting a body, Perriman, Anderson, I mean, get a body, get an NFL veteran who can just come in here, because you're looking at a chance that, say Alshon don't play into the middle of the season. Say Deshaun goes down again, you know. Say you try not to play, you play Greg Ward Jr. and he just ends up moving off. Like you try to, you know, I don't know, but you got to keep him on the team anyways. But I agree. It looks like it's destiny. I'm just kidding. Brian Rose, who's going to be our cornerback too? I think he's going to get fought out by Avonte Maddox, Sidney Jones, and possibly Trevor Williams if the future contract comes back to place, because he's healthy enough to sign a contract during training camp. And again, I don't think that's going to be that bad to have a guy like Sidney Jones or Avonte Maddox or someone over there, because we like to play a lot of single high safety. So let that single high safety favor Sidney Jones, Avonte Maddox, and let big play Slay play on the island. He's going to get beat once in a while, but he's not going to get beat like we normally see. Honestly, Howie almost never goes with the position in the first round that we are all expecting. Watch this man draft a defensive lineman or something. I agree. I've seen times where he does that, but this one is just, I mean, it's if he got a receiver in free agency, then we can say, oh, now Howie might do something different, even though we know he shouldn't. But, man, this is all pointing to it. Yes, top 10 in a second. Yeah, Jalen Williams, then I would definitely entertain that. 2 super studs, and then you fall back on your other 3 picks being, hope and pray. But that would be 2 studs. Samuel Mack, we just need to stay healthy. That is true. If we were healthy last year, the team would look a whole lot different. So that's one of the biggest things. Greg Ward and Boston Scott deserve every opportunity to be involved in the offense. 100% agree with that. Easy money 2004. I like linebacker Jordan Brooks in the third round. He's a sideline to sideline linebacker and probably only one who will fall to our late pick. Yeah, because that third round pick is now 103rd. Now, see, I loved the opportunity to get a linebacker who can come in here and contribute right away with the 85th overall third round. But, we gave it up for Slay, and that was important. Just think, if we still have our 10 picks, right? So we still got the first 21, the second 53, the third 85th, the third 103. We're going into this draft knowing that we need a wide receiver and we need a cornerback automatically. So, we lose that pick, but we get a cornerback that we know can lock up. Eagles Evan, a lot of people forget we picked up Elijah Holyfield after the season, never know was decent at Georgia. Yeah, I said in my previous lives about him, and I'm going to say it quick. Georgia Bulldog, big guy, Elijah Holyfield. Doug Peterson interviewed him and looked at him to draft him late in the draft or after the draft as a undrafted free agent. Undrafted. Yeah. But anyway, sorry. We talked to him and everything, so we liked him. And, we didn't get to use him last year because we didn't have to, but I think he's a big back that, again, Boston Scott, Miles Sanders, they'll carry the load. You need a guy to get you one once in a while. The front seven of the Eagles is going to kill people this year. Do not forget Emily Jackson is coming back. I know you mean Malik Jackson, my bad. I read it because it's like that. Yeah, he's coming back. It's going to be a nice rotation with Hargraves, Jackson, and Fletcher. Jeff Williams, Cowbums lost their center. They're going to be off with new center, and Cox will demolish them at the line. Yeah, man, I can't wait to play the Cowboys. I really can't. Eagles ever, maybe Holyfield could be a third runner back. I stay. Clement deserves 1 year deal after what he did in the Super Bowl. Yeah, I do think Holyfield will get the look, though. Brian Rosa. I think we got the Cowboys number. This Slay's going to shut down Cooper. He always shuts down Cooper. And with them losing their center, they can't stop Cox and Hargraves. I agree 100% with you guys. Jay White, in your opinion, give me your starting lineup for corners. Right now, I'm going to have to put Avonte Maddox there unless Sidney Jones can prove me wrong. And I don't know what Trevor Williams is going to do. If we get old school Trevor Williams, it's him. But I don't know about Trevor Williams. I don't know how Sidney Jones is going to be. That could change week 2 or 3 right now. Darius Slay on the outside. Avonte Maddox on the other outside. I want to say Crevion LeBlanc, but I'm just going to say Robey Coleman in the slot. And you got Will Parks and Ronnie McLeod at safety. And I think Jalen Mills is going to rotate from corner to safety. I think he'll play safety, but at the end of the day, he might not even be our starting safety if Will Parks gets that job. It's essential we get a receiver, though, 100%. I never understood do we always go single high safety, have 3 safeties on the field. Yeah, we used to use Malcolm Jenkins in the box, so he was like our will linebacker. So Malcolm Jenkins was like our will linebacker, and sometimes we weren't playing 3 safeties all the time. We were playing what was it? I know what you were talking about, but and yeah, Jim Schwartz likes to do a lot of single high safeties, but we in the beginning of the season we were coming out of it, and like I don't know. The one thing about Jim Schwartz is I like his scheme sometimes. And the fact that not like his schemes, I hate when he plays that stick defense. But this is how Jim Schwartz is. If he comes into the game with a game plan that works, the Eagles defense looks good. That's why we held teams to 17 and 14 and 17. Good teams. But if the Eagles defense is getting blasted by halftime, he does not make the right adjustments. He pretty much says whatever we go into, we going to rock with. Maybe that changes with a guy like Mark Emanuel. Like sometimes, the people around you, I don't know, if you're a coordinator, you gotta be able to make adjustments. But I'm telling you, we all saw what Frank Wright brought to Doug Peterson, he still called the plays. He called the plays with Frank Wright. He called the plays with Mike Rowe, but something looked different. Now we can talk about the personnel wasn't there, but still the plays. We lacked explosiveness last year. But I hear you, Easy Money 2004. I think single high is going to pay dividends with a guy like Darius Slay on your team now. DeAndre Richardson, we got on the low thumper and big baby Holyfield. I agree. He's a big dude. He ran hard with the Georgia Bulldogs. He is a Bulldog. Philly take with RB. I'm still scared by the time we pick Marcus Smith in the first round. Oh yeah. Yeah, but what first round, what pick number did we pick him? I forgot. Vance Maxwell, Mike, I don't see Dallas being Super Bowl's contender until Jerry Jones pays his quarterback. That's why I asked if the Eagles are going to dominate. Oh, the NFC East. Actually, I read it as you were talking about the NFC, period. But yeah, we're going to dominate the NFC East. Like I said, I believe them not paying Dak Prescott is going to bring a lot of tension with Dak and, now losing their so they lost their offensive lineman, big. Dak Prescott not getting a deal, big. They lose Byron Jones. He wasn't locked down, but who else they got? Big. They got a lot of needs too. Extra Trelly, what is going on, bro? You have any McLoads lately? All these chat, y'all hit all these guys in the chat be more than 3 likes. Yeah, come on, man. Let me get to like 20 likes, bro. Just something light. All you gotta do is bang off the chat, hit the like button, come back in. You guys can have all your conversations and all that good stuff, Charlie Chan, do you the Eagles account? What are they going to use to have a cornerback this year? They did last year. I used to hate when they played a cornerback all the way back 20 feet. Oh, yeah. Darius Slay won't play back at all. He'll be up in the face, playing man, press. I don't know what they'll do with the other side, but I'm telling you, he's going to be playing up. Would you start Jalen Mills over Ronnie at safety? Probably not. I mean, if Ronnie McLeod was playing soft like the first 3 weeks, he was struggling or something, because I think Ronnie McLeod started to play good at the end of the season. Like when we first got Ronnie McLeod from the Rams, he looked really good. Then he had that long injury where he missed like pretty much the rest of the year, came back the next year, which I think was last year. I forgot exactly, but I know he looked really good. He got hurt for a long period of time. Last year, he didn't look that good early, but at the end of the season, he was slaying big hits. He was dropping in coverage. He was doing what he was supposed to. So I would let Ronnie McLeod start by week 2 or 3. Maybe I would make the switch if it's not working. I also think this year, you're going to see a lot of, like Richardson said, you're going to see a lot of matchup makers. So one week you can see Jalen Mills start at safety, and maybe a guy like Will Parks plays the nickel corner because it's a big slot guy. Listen, Nickell Robey Coleman is a small 5'8" guy. He'll play the slot majority of the time. But when you play a team where you're playing against Larry Fitzgerald and a big body receiver is in the slot constantly, you might move Jalen Mills into the slot. You might make Jalen Mills play safety and come down like in the box like Malcolm did. You might say, Will Parks, you were playing safety last week, but I want you because you're a bigger body. You're bigger than Robey Coleman. Go not shut down, but go play Fitzgerald. You know what I mean? All that good stuff. 2020 vision, I could see our secondary fold if they're behind and big in the games without Malcolm Jenkins' leadership. Do you agree? I do think right now that Malcolm Jenkins' leadership is going to come into play throughout the games. When a team, like you said, when a team is getting beat and they start to feel demoralized, that goes a long way with having a guy who's not going to let you put your head down, who's going to be in your face on the sideline. Like Fletcher Cox is that dude who got to step up as a leader, but he's one of them silent leaders. Now, you see Jalen Mills in the pregame warm-ups, hyping people up. I don't know how much I can go into the game on a losing note, like you said. Hopefully, though, our offense don't allow that to happen. 2017, the offense started out fast. That's another thing. Our defense was good in 2017-18 season when we went to the Super Bowl, but our offense made it easier on the defense. The last couple years, our offense has made it hard on the defense. So we need our offense to help it out a little bit. Reggie D. Mack, we took Smith 25th overall. Dumb. Oh, yeah. That's Chip Kelly again. Chip Kelly. And Chip Kelly was the one to draft Nelson Aguilar, too, with the first. See, this is why I think we will be safe. First of all, we have to go wide receiver. Please, God. But second of all, with this wide receiver class being historic and the fact that Howie's not going to try to find a gem in the late third, in the early fourth, in the fifth. Listen, if he attacks with the first round, even at 21, there's I can never say that word. There's a lot of options for the Eagles to go in this historic draft class. We might not get the exact guy we want, but we should have a stud coming to the receiving position from this draft. If we move up, it's even better, but that gets a little rough. But yeah, Chip Kelly and previous Howie drafts, wasn't good. I mean, Arcega Whiteside, again, you didn't try to get a first round talent. You dipped late in a second and you reached on him, It is what it is. Our second. McLeod. Mike, with the Cowboys losing their center, how much trouble are they in, bro? Please tell me. I'm telling you right now, their offensive line was kind of overrated anyways. They had big names on the offensive line, but they got pushed around a little bit too. But yeah, I'm telling you, that interior of our defense is going to be so good that I'm telling you, Derek Barnett and these guys are going to easily be working on one-on-ones all day. You're not going to be able to, even a chip guy it's like a domino effect. Javon Hargrave, Malik Jackson, Fletcher Cox, even Hassan Ridgeway, when you can rotate them, I'm telling you, fourth quarter, 11 minutes left. Normally our defensive line is gassed. This defensive line is going to be able to rotate 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Here we come. Full blast. We going to do work. I'm telling you, the Eagles stay healthy. We win in the division easily. Like this video, I will throw a DeAndre Richardson. Yeah, right? It is what it is. Yeah, let's just get it to 20. That's all you need to do. Look. Smack the live chat, go hit the like button, come back. Pole Viper, what is going on? How you doing? Our blitz package is going to play faster, and Mills will have at least 5 sacks. Whoa, so you got Mills coming in and getting 5 sacks at the safety position. That's tough. I like that. Here's the thing, too. If the defensive line, see, Jim Schwartz's normal philosophy is play wide 9, have your front 4 blitz, and he likes to drop coverage back in the secondary. So he's also used to not having good secondaries, but he likes to drop, a linebacker or 2 back. He likes to have his safeties back there. He normally likes to do a lot of these things. The fact that we could not bring pressure last year made him resort to more single high safety. This was the most Jim Schwartz blitzed in his whole life, because his philosophy, like I said, blitz rush 4, play coverage. But we weren't allowing him to do that. Mir Slat, what is going on, bro? Carapool, I'm sad because there's even less of a chance we get AJ Terrell. Oh, yeah. But with us shoring up our cornerback situation, I'm not saying they wouldn't go cornerback in the second round, because, corner is a very important position. Mirslat, what I missed? Oh, we were just talking about we were talking about the Nickell Robey Coleman signing, the fact that LeBlanc, Maddox, Coleman are going to fight for that slot position. Maybe Maddox can be put on the outside. General thoughts on a bunch of different couple things. Easy Money 2004. Chip Kelly only had a good offense scheme. I don't know why we gave him GM rights. I agree 100%. He was horrible at making decisions. 100%. Really bad. I mean, he traded away LaShawn McCoy, Deshaun Jackson, Jeremy Maclin. Not traded away Jeremy Maclin, but let them all go. But, like, come on, man. Barry Mark Sobriety. I'm not sure what you're talking about, if you're even talking to me. Do you think Alshon was the cancer in the locker room? I honestly think maybe not cancer. I think this is my whole take on it, because at the end of the day, people forget that Alshon Jeffrey played really good with Carson Wentz the first 13 games of the 2017 season. He played great with him. Go look at his stats. Carson Wentz was throwing it to him. Everything was good. Carson Wentz gets hurt. Nick Foles come in. Alshon continues to play good, wins the Super Bowl, and he won it while he had a torn shoulder. Both Carson Wentz and Alshon Jeffrey both don't start the season. They come back late. Alshon comes back fast. Carson comes back fast. The frustration of everything, Alshon Jeffrey is competitive. The fact that he kept trying to play for the last 2 years, nagging injury, and you can see it, running a little slower, dropping balls he never drops. I think that all added up to the fact that he was just like, listen, and maybe Carson Wentz demanding stuff out of him, not like mean, but like as a leader, demanding in the right way. I just think if Alshon Jeffrey wasn't lingering injuries, I don't think he would have turned to this type of player. I'm not trying to make excuses for him. At the end of the day, listen, you can't be a team that's having anonymous sources. That's just not going to get the job done. It's going to look bad. It's not going to work. So I do believe, we have to go our separate ways. The way it's looking now, if the Eagles do not go wide receiver 1, then you can guarantee Alshon Jeffrey is going to be here for the rest of his contract. I think they're going to wait till like right before June 1st or whatever, but June 1st or something. I don't know if it's you can do it right after it or you have to do it right before it or something happens with his contract. I forgot. I had it all detailed out. But, at the end of the day, we have to get wide receiver 1. If we don't, you can expect that he will be here. 2020 vision, your thoughts on wide receiver Brandon Ayuk in the draft? I like him. He's one of them guys that you can just get the ball in his hand 5 yards and he can take it somewhere. He runs like a running back too. A lot of people like Laviska Shenault as a guy who can get the ball and get a lot of yards after the catch. He's a bigger guy, but Brandon Ayuk is very special with the ball in his hands too. Pretty fast. I forgot how tall he was. He does have playmaking ability down the field. I was looking at him, early on in the mock drafts. I thought he was going to be I thought he would be a late second round draft pick. I think the fact that Claypool had a monster combine and Denzel Mims and a lot of these guys who had monster combines who were normally going to be to the 3rd, I think they moved up to the 2nd. And a guy like Brandon Ayuk is still going to be there, possibly 2nd, but maybe moved back to the 3rd because of Denzel Mims, who's 6 foot plus, ran a 4.43, just amazing hands. But I do like Brandon Ayuk. I have a video that I put out a month or 2 ago, like before we were even when we were really starting to talk about wide receiver. I had, if the Eagles go 2nd round receiver, look at these couple players. And he was one of the guys I talked about. Samuel Mack, I hated Chip Kelly. Yeah, man, that fast offense, it worked. Yeah, sometimes it scored fast, but when it did it, if you just blink long, the offense is on and off the field, and the defense is coming in tired. I always said when 17 play, we win. Yeah, when 17 play, we win. Yeah, listen, I got the memory a little bit ago when Alshon Jeffrey first came there. Man, I loved Alshon Jeffrey. I was a big fan when he was with the Chicago Bears. Jay Cutler would just throw it up and he would get it. And he was never a fast guy who's going to beat you down the field, but he used to catch a lot of deep balls with Jay Cutler because you just throw it up there and the bigger guy is going to go up and win. He's just going to go up and get it. Alshon can't be the snitch. Wide receiver never complained that the quarterback needs to check it down to the runner back. There's divas. They want the ball. True, the guy says he doesn't check it down enough, which, wide receivers, like you said, normally you say you check down too much. That's why I was early in my YouTube career, but I made a video like, if it is Alshon Jeffrey, why would he be wanting him to check down and not give him the ball? I agree with that take. Paul 44, I like Chase Claypool in the second. Yeah, man, Chase Claypool, he definitely climbed up. Mock drafts, everywhere you look, he climbed up. I mean, when you got a guy who's his height, his size, and ran as fast as he did, there's only one other guy who's ever been that tall, that big, and ran that fast, and that's Megatron. So I'm not saying he's Megatron, but there's no person to ever be their size and run that fast. That gotta say something. Mike Jerry Jones is the one stingy dude over money. Dak should got paid. I agree. I mean, Dak should have got paid. Maybe not the $40 million he's talking about, but definitely when you franchise tag a quarterback, every year franchise tags are different because franchise tags are like the middle ground of quarterback. Not the middle, but like it's not the middle. It makes you the higher end paid. So him getting franchise tag got him $33 million this year. So he's making $33 million, but he don't have no long-term guaranteed money and blah, blah, blah. So it's all going to come back around and hurt him. The offensive line, the Dak Prescott contract, and Byron Jones, while the Eagles are sharpening up the defense, getting that D-line hungry, getting that secondary to look better, going to get Carson Wentz weapons in the draft. First place, baby. Alshon costs too much to cut. I hate the dead money cost. That is true. That's why the Eagles are really doing their due diligence to try to find the best way to let him go if it's necessary. I mean, he's not going to probably play to the middle of the season, but I mean, there's scenarios of all types of things, The fact that we didn't sign a receiver in the free agency, if we only get one receiver this draft, then we might need to keep a guy like him because we don't have other bodies. I really see the Eagles double dipping at receiver. Maybe not one first round and second round, but first round and first round and something like that. This draft is going to have guys come out in the third round, in the fourth round, who are not going to be, the Michael Thomases and the Julio Jones, but they're going to be really good receivers. And don't be surprised if the best receiver in the draft is a guy who don't come out to the second or third round. CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs. I mean, I'm willing to bet these guys are one of the best out of this draft, the Denzel Mims, the Chase Claypools. But don't be surprised if a guy who falls to the third round, a Michael Pittman, a Tyler Johnson, a Van Jefferson, a KJ Hill. I'm not saying these guys are better. What I'm saying is don't be surprised if the guy who was drafted in the fourth round or third round don't step up and become somebody. Like, look, we all remember a guy named Antonio Brown, right? What round was he taken in? Antonio Brown was taken in the 6th round. One of the best receivers in the league before he got cuckoo. Michael Thomas, I think he was drafted in the first round, or he might have been a second round draft. So the first round draft picks are not always the best guy out of that draft pick, but this draft is historical. And these top three guys, and Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb, Henry Ruggs, they're the real deal. But guys like Denzel Mims, Claypool, Jefferson, even maybe T. Higgins, they're going to be good. The KJ Hamlers, the Jalen Riegers, the Van Jeffersons, the Tyler Johnsons, the Michael Pittmans, the Duvernays, the Brandon Ayuk. Like I said, it's deep. It's real deep. Siento Young, the defense backfield lost a lot of games. The Eagles focused and made it proper changes. That's true. Secondary got beat multiple times last year, and instead of making one change, they did a big change around. They brought in three guys in the secondary, and a guy like Will Parks is a hybrid. Can play the nickel, can play safety. Forget Jeffries. He stabbed Wentz in the back for that reporter. Maybe. Easy Money 2004. How high will Chase Claypool go in the draft? I mean, I don't think somebody will reach for him in the first round. And if he did got reached for in the first round, it will be late first round. But I mean, like, people still take in consideration that the dude is that big, that fast, that size. There's only one person that's ever did it is Megatron. So having that as your, possibility, I mean, my goodness, who knows? I mean, he was a guy that I saw before all this was in the, always in the third, sometimes in the fourth. But man, he's going to be a problem in the league. Thanks, bro, for answering my question. Keep up the good work. No problem, Samuel Mack. I appreciate all the support you guys give me. Like I said, when I do these lives, I come on, I try to start what I want to talk about. Like I said, I wanted to do a regular video about Nickell Robey Coleman, and I wanted to talk about DJ Moore. But if I'm on the live, it's to hear from you guys, because your guys' input is great. I love it. That sleep coming down you, yeah, man. I've been going to bed late the last couple of days, and I've been handling my night business, my own business, and I work for, my company in the morning. It is what it is, though. Got to keep grinding. 44 Philly fan, listen. If you guys also listen, 44 Philly fan, I just came across this guy yesterday. He does Eagles football. He does Eagles content. I think he does all Philadelphia content. So listen, if you want to see more Eagles content, I never tell anybody to blindly sub, but go check out 44 Philly fan. Watch a video. If you like it, hit that subscribe button. Simple as that. Appreciate you stopping by. Do you think we're going to get 2 first-round picks this draft? Do you think we're going to get 2 first-round picks this draft and possibly draft 2 wide receivers in round 1? How would we do that? I want the draft now. I hear you, bro. Mike, do you think we get Henry Ruggs or CeeDee Lamb? I would love to. I would really love to. Don't get me wrong. When we had 10 picks, I really thought I really was going to bet we were going to move up. I still don't think we won't move up, but I mean, you got to move up to the 13th pick, maybe the 10th pick. For Henry Ruggs, maybe the 15th pick. And with that being said, we got to give up. Like, we have a lot of picks still, 8 picks, but these picks, them 3 picks in the 4th round is 127, 145, and 146. The 3rd round now is 103. The 2nd round is still valuable at 53. But the rest of the picks, we already lost the top 100 college, players. Maybe we could package our 21st, a 3rd, and 1 of the 4th to move up. Maybe not to the 10th, but to the 13th or 15th. But then moving up to the 15th, you got to make sure you get your guy. Because if you give that stuff up and CeeDee Lamb, Judy, and Ruggs is off the board by 14, then my goodness, you package that stuff for no reason. So you really got to do your due diligence. I would love to get a guy that I can just know, like them 3 guys, I would feel so great about them being able to perform right away for the Philadelphia Eagles. Alan Riley, what is going on, bro? How you doing? 2020 Vision said, oh my goodness, Mike, if Howie does not get 2 good receivers in this draft, then it's the end as a GM. It might be. Hey, listen, he did all this work on defense. If he goes into the draft and he picks something else with his 1st round pick, he picks something else with his 2nd round pick, and he's like, you know what? This draft is really good. I'm going to try to get receiver with the 103rd pick, and I take Van Jefferson. All right, still a good name, but if he does not pan out, like you're taking a big risk. You're talking about this, maybe the same thing again for Carson Wentz in this offense. We will get 2 or 3 wide receivers this draft. I hope so. I'm big on saying the Eagles are going to get 2 wide receivers. I think we're double dipping. I like Laviscus or Mims in the second if they're there. That's the thing. Our second is pick 53. So you got to think from pick 33 to 53, the first 20 picks in the second round, that's where I think a guy like Mims is going to go. Maybe Laviscus goes to the 53 because of the injury and not being able to perform at the combine. But like again, people are like, oh yeah, we can get a wide receiver in the first, and in the second round we can get, the 53 pick, the 53rd pick. Some of these other studs are going to be gone. Now there still might be a guy like KJ Hamler, Jalen Reagor, the other guys. There's a guy's going to be there in the third, like the Pittmans and the Van Jeffersons and all that stuff. But my goodness, I want to double dip. Got to double dip. Dang, a Giants receiver went to the Redskins. They trash. Nah. Yeah, offseason be really boring. Be really boring sometimes, especially when you got no other sports. Like, my goodness. 444 Philly fan. I saw someone say we trade our 2021 first round and a second round picks for another pick in the first round this draft. Yes. So what he's saying is we trade our first and our second to get only one first, but a top first. So like a pick number 10 or pick number 13 or pick number blah, blah, blah to get one of your guys. But you can't trade a first and a second for a first and a first. I mean, I would love to do that, but I still think we get linebackers in the I still think we get some linebackers, and the Eagles should do more trick plays because in 2019 they struggled at trick plays, and it will be nice to know 1 or 2 trick plays happen. Yeah, I agree. We need more trick plays, but even simpler, we just need more explosive plays. Like at the end of the day, every play, we had to go down the field methodically. Little by little, methodically, going down the field, 5 yards, 10 yards, 7 yards, 10 yards. Oh, wow, a big gain of 18 yards. There was no 30-yard bombs, 40-yard bombs, 50-yard bombs. So I would love trick plays. I think we definitely need to get a linebacker in this draft, but just give me some explosive plays and I'll be happy. Here we go. Trade Ertz, get some picks, and redraft another tight end. I saw you and Broach talking about it. Alan Riley, you think we kind of straight on defense now? I think we good. I think the biggest weakness on defense now, of course, we can always use another stud cornerback because it's a passing league. In a passing league, you got to stop the pass. But the biggest need on our defense, I think now, is still linebacker because we added Jatavius Brown, but the linebacker position is still young. It's still thin, and we got to fill it out. Now, the draft is going to be another young guy, but at the end of the day, probably a more talented guy if you're drafting somewhere in the second roundish. Third round, you might be able to pull one of them guys I still like. I still can't talk about trading Ertz without feeling like a Judas. Your opinion, how good is DJ Moore? What will it cost to get him? My opinion, DJ Moore is a pretty dang good receiver. I think he's actually, you can call him almost a stud for what he's been able to do in his second year. You got to remember, he was a first round draft pick by the Carolina Panthers. I want to say it's either 18 or 28. 18, I think. Them two ring a bell. I'm not sure. But in his second season, he was able to get 87 receptions, 1,175 yards, and 4 touchdowns on a team where their quarterback was Kyle Anderson and Christian McCaffrey ran the ball a lot. So Christian McCaffrey was their number one option in the run game and the pass game. And they had a guy named Kyle Anderson as their quarterback. And DJ Moore got 1,000 yards receiving in his second year. And oh, by the way, he's 22 years old. I like him. I think, people were saying that we could use Rasul Douglas and a couple picks to try to pry him away. I don't even know why the Panthers have him on the trading block. Like, you got Robbie Anderson. That's cool. But he's a stud. He's 22. Like, I saw the Philly Voice. If you guys read them articles, they talked about it. The good thing is DJ Moore is a Philly native, but I think it's going to be hard to pry him away. But when I read that, I got immediately happy because I think he's a really good player for a young boy. Philly fan. Also, what is your perfect draft scenario? Who do you want the most each round? My perfect draft scenario right now, tired. I'm just kidding. I would say wide receiver 1. You want me to say what position or who I want? But I would go wide receiver. I don't know. I'm starting to lean to – I said linebacker at third round, but I'm starting to lean more linebacker second. Maybe I would go wide receiver, linebacker. We need an O-line eventually. I would say maybe wide receiver, linebacker, wide receiver, O-line, defensive end, safety. Or no, safety before the defensive end and then defensive end. So wide receiver, linebacker, wide receiver, O-line, safety, defensive end, and then something else. Something like that. I'd be glad when this corona stuff is over, but I'm staying positive. Anything can happen, bro. You already know. Yeah, man. Be safe all day. Brian Rose, D-Jax being back will help with big plays. Exactly. You have a guy who you have to be scared about taking the top off the defense. One, you got to prepare for him. If you don't, that's a touchdown. We saw it happen in the Washington game twice, 50 plus. If you do prepare for him and you back your secondary up, you play your safeties a little deeper, you play more cover 2, you play more cover 3 to try to protect for the deep ball or whatever. Well, guess what? Now the middle of the field is open for guys like Zach Ertz, Dallas Goedert, the crosser slot receiver, Greg Ward Jr. The middle of the field is where the Eagles wanted to go last year, and it was so clogged. We were still able to get it done, but if you have a guy running up, not only outside, even the guy in the slot, run up the seam, do a 9 route, it opens so much up. I would love to get Kenneth Murray. Big fan of his game. Yeah, like I'm starting to really think like, look, my before we got big play Slay, I wanted to go wide receiver, cornerback, wide receiver, linebacker, wide receiver because we had the 85th overall pick. But now we shored up corner a little bit. So like I still was thinking we get a linebacker in the 3rd, maybe 4th. But with that being the biggest need, why not move it up a little bit? I'm going to end this in a little bit anyways because I got some stuff I got to take care of again. Probably another late night. Mayor Slate, I feel bros, but we can't get a new guy that's young and more explosive. Mike, yesterday I watched 2 hours of Michael Vick documentary. I saw Ertz catching, breaking tackles, and running up the field and hurdling. Yeah, younger dude. I mean, he's still younger. I mean, he's only 29 years old. But, yeah, he definitely lost the yak ability. Still a beast, though. Wambu, do you still want to trade up? Say we give up our 1st, 3rd, and 2 4th. We now get one of the top 3 wide receivers, but may not have the picks for our other needs, like a 2nd wide receiver or a linebacker. True. You get that one stud, you're really going to have to give up a lot to get that stud. And that's where I was saying, will I say the Eagles won't trade up? No. Because Howie might really say, you know what? I didn't get no receivers in the draft. We got to get that stud. But it does make moving up harder now with the lack of picks. But Darius Slay makes it better feeling because you don't have to shore up the cornerback position. So I could still maybe see us staying at 21, getting a guy who still can ball out in the draft. Like I know people are saying Denzel Mims are a second. You got to go Jefferson or T. Higgins or whoever that is right there, more Jefferson. But who cares? If it's your guy and you're 100% sold on him, you got to do what's best for the team and bang it out. Now, again, we need a linebacker in this draft. We can use an offensive lineman to help out because we're short at that position, the swing tackle. We can use help on the defensive end later in the draft. We can use depth at safety. We can use the linebacker is big, and we can use 2 wide receivers like you said. So if you give up a third and a fourth, when are you getting that second wide receiver? With the 6th round pick? I think the Eagles should go after DJ Moore. Shoot, he's a Philly native. Yeah, he is, bro. 22 years old. We need our wide receivers to be better at rack yards. You mean yak? Oh, run after catch, you're saying, instead of yards after catch? DeAndre Richardson, we just need to get healthy. 100. We'll get a receiver, but people need to calm down acting like the Eagles are talentless on offense. No, that is true. Dual running backs that can catch out the backfield and help in the receiving game and run in Boston Scott and Miles Sanders. The best tight end duo in the NFL in Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert. What we lack is playmakers on the outside, which that's why sometimes our talent still can methodically get us down the field. 8-minute drive for a touchdown. Went 70 yards in 11 minutes, 70 yards in 9 minutes. But it does get kind of hard when you got these safeties creeping down, the linebackers pinching in, the D-line coming together, knowing that everything's going to be, out the backfield or in the middle. It would really open it up to get a playmaker on the outside, not just speed, but a playmaker on the outside. But I do agree with you. That's why this offense could be so deadly. It's already talented. It's missing an outside presence, whether it be a big body receiver that can get down the field or a Deshaun Jackson type to get down the field. That's going to make Dallas Goedert's job way easier. Ertz, easier. Miles Sanders, one-on-one with a linebacker with no safety help. Nobody else kind of watching him. Oh, my goodness. By the way, Eagles need Miami Hurricanes on the team. Didn't the one dude, the one XFL player, that quarterback that somebody else said in the chat a while ago, didn't he get signed by the Carolina Panthers, right? Our first and Ertz will get us the 9th or 10th pick. Would you do it? That's one that I have to really think about. So you're basically saying you rather have. So Mir Slate, who do you get with the 9th pick or 10th pick? Who are you taking? Carson will still make good receivers look like studs. He did it with practice squad guys. I agree. My man Carson Wentz is going to get it done this year, 100%. We'll get the outside break at 21, and D-Jack will be back. There you go, Allen Riley. Problem solved. But Mir Slade, tell me who you would draft with the 10th pick, and then I'm going to give you a scenario real quick. And then I'm about to be out in a little bit. So like I said, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said, I plan on just making a regular video and putting up about DJ Moore, a little bit of draft talk, and Nickell Robey Coleman, and the fact that he got a fight with LeBlanc and all that good stuff. But I said, you know what? It's 7:30 already. Let me just quick get on here, set up a live for 7:45, and chop it out with you guys for an hour because I love chopping it with you guys. I think Doug Peterson is one of the best head coaches we ever had. Now Chip Kelly is the worst head coach we ever had, bro. Yep. In the last couple years, we had the best of the worst. Um, I did like a lot. Like I like a lot of other coaches too. But hey, you can never take anything from Doug Peterson. He won a Super Bowl for a team that has never won the Super Bowl. I agree. But like I said, thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. At the end of the day, let's keep this going. The Eagles made moves on defense. We know we're going to get talent on the offensive side in the draft, but the draft is still a little bit away, and we have to wait, and we have to get it done, though. Howie Roseman has not disappointed me so far this offseason. Could he have got a receiver? Yes. Should he have got a receiver? Maybe. But at the end of the day, I have to see the finished product. I still see people over here bashing Howie because he didn't get a receiver. When the finished product is done, let's see where it's at. Vance Maxwell, peace out, bro. Like I said, peace out to everybody. If you didn't hit that like button, all you got to do is before you exit this stream, click the live chat off, hit the like button, then take it down. Have a good one, bro. I'll make sure to be on next time stream. Oh yeah, next stream will be better. This is one of my, softer streams. I put it up 15 minutes ago, but all the true loyal people came in this one. Good stuff for a Philly fan. I actually seen you put a video up about Robey Coleman. I was gonna watch it, but then I was driving and I got on here, so I'll check it out. But Alan Riley, be easy, bro. Might go kick your feet up and take a McLoad off. The rest feel a bit. Yo, I love that, man. I'm gonna start using that at work and everything, bro. That's my thing. I'm gonna transform that into a couple different sayings. 2020 visions. Be easy, bro. Stay safe out there. Kara, peace. As Extra Trelly said, I'm gonna go take a McLoad, chill out before I go run out somewhere. Have a good one. Good talk, Philly Mike. Appreciate all you. Until next time, guys, you know what time it is. We out. You're rude.